Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing that people do. When they do it.
The feminist thing to me is separating man from woman. And then you got the gays, and then you got what's going on between the black people and the cops. You know what I mean? Which is two groups that are opposing each other. More so now than ever.
So you think feminism is separating men from women? That's what they're doing?
I think it's a slight shifting of, especially with the guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, male feminists?
Male feminists and
male feminists are barely real.
It's weird. It's a weird situation. You know.
Let me just park this joint. Keep up with you. Male feminists are seriously barely real. They're barely real. There's a very tiny percentage of men that are actually male feminists. The smallest percentage are actually like adhere to those ideologies. The vast majority are doing what's called virtue signaling. Michael Shermer's got the best expression. I wonder if that's his expression. I see it everywhere. I see it more often now than ever before, I think, since he's been on this podcast. But what they're doing is just trying to make everybody think that they're amazing. They're so virtuous, they're so ethical and so moral and so open-minded and fair in their thinking that they identify as a feminist. But most of it is guys that just can't get any pussy.
Well, I thought I was a true feminist, but I was talking to this young lady about how beautiful women are, and I was like, I like to be in a place with beautiful women. They like cars.
Want some of this?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, you objectify women. And I was like, well, I guess I objectify women then, you know?
You see that thing? Jamie, did you see that thing I tweeted the other day from Cosmo, Cosmopolitan magazine, side-by-side cover? It was a retweet from The Amazing Atheist. Weed. Side-by-side cover. One of them was like, men who objectify women are the effing worst. And then in the very next cover, it showed, it's identifying men's bulges during the Olympics.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
That's
hypocrites.
Yeah, but I always...
Look at that. Confirmed. Men who objectify women are effing horrible. 36 summer Olympic bulges that deserve gold. And it's just guys' abs with their, their Speedos looking at their cocks. It's hilarious. People are fucking hilarious.
I agree. And I feel like, when I talk, I try to be as truthful as possible, but I only learn through my ignorance. You know what I mean?
You only learn? Well,
I ain't going to say only learn through my ignorance, but...
You learn a lot from shit that you didn't know.
From messing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or not knowing. Yeah. I mean, I think feminism and all these things, there's like a giant scale, right?
Yeah.
And then there's feminism that totally makes sense to me. I think there's a lot of women that they get treated unfairly. They work with assholes who just want to fuck them or want to treat them like shit because they're a woman, or they have power over them and they know they can pull some stuff on them that they can't pull on men. I think that's 100% real. And I think there's a lot of women that are awesome. They're cool, they're creative, they're funny, they're powerful, and to call it feminism or whatever it is, they're just awesome humans.
Yeah, that's true.
That happen to be women. So I think in some ways the idea of feminism is to recognize those women for what they are, just awesome human beings, and to sort of shield them and protect them against a lot of sexism, a lot of misogyny, a lot of shit that gets directed in their direction. And I know it's real. I've seen it. It's 100% real.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of sexism. Just like anybody that would say to you that there's no racism. That is fucking preposterous. Of course there's racism. There's racism amongst black people against other black people.
Yeah, I experienced that.
I think there's just ignorance, just foolish people. And I think in a lot of ways, it's not even the people's fault. A lot of what we are is a measurement of who our parents were, who their parents were, the neighborhoods that we lived in, the people that we were exposed to, and the thought process that surrounds these areas is super difficult to escape.
Yeah.
It's just really hard for people to think outside of the box. It's easier now because you might live in a bad neighborhood with a bunch of silly people that don't think very well, but you have access to the internet now. So now you could start to take in other ideas and consider those ideas and say, well, maybe these fucking people around me are assholes.
The problem with the internet is And I got friends and family that don't have the thought of going to the internet. You know?
That's the problem with the internet?
Well, not the internet, but with, you know, that situation. You know, yeah. So if I have a conversation with somebody and I was like, why don't you just Google it? And they was like, what? I'm asking you.
Yeah, you're hanging around with silly people. It's
Well, this
2016.
is just people I'm related to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that.
Nah, but
you gotta leave them behind.
it's tough though. It's tough, man. I mean, I have left, but I realized once I left home, the only person that's educated or the person who thought outside the box is gone.
You were the only person that was thinking outside the box
for the most part.
In your family, yeah. Well, what do they think about you being like this sort of subversive comedian? You know, you're this like open-minded, free-speaking dude who says wild shit on stage. You know,
They don't get it.
do they think you're funny?
No. To be honest, no.
Well, I'm here to tell them they're wrong.
No, they don't.
You're very funny.
You can just tell by the look in their face when they see it. It's not world star hip hop. You know.
Yeah, is that what they're expecting?
Yeah, that's what they found funny.
Right.
Like, look at this dude get slapped. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just a different. I've socially, economically, mentally crossed over. You know.
Right.
But it happened so long ago that.
So you feel like you can't relate sometimes when you're talking to them?
Well, in a sense, but the thing, you know, there's things you find interesting, they might not find interesting.
Yeah.
And there's always a thing in the black community when they was like how desegregation ruined the black community because it took the doctors and lawyers out of the community. But them niggas don't want to hang around them niggas. Them doctors ain't trying to sit around motherfuckers that drink alcohol all day. You know what I mean? And they trying to talk about how to invest and what percentage the bank returns versus, you know, IRA or something like that. Motherfuckers ain't trying to, like, so I understand why these things happen now.
Why people move out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the journey that I'm on. And then I try to go back and explain those things, you know.